Welcome to Diceborn. This is our series from the 17 Shard where we're playing through a campaign of the Mistborn Adventure Game. I'm Ben, and I'll be playing Dervish today. Joining me for this adventure is Grace.
Hello, I'm playing Marelyn.
Matt.
Hello, I'm Luka today. And most days.
Especially today. Rosemary.
Hello, I play Hallie.
And our GM for this game, Natasha.
And I'm your Lord Roller.
Ian was unfortunately unable to make it this week, but he should be back for the next episode, and we should have the whole crew back together next episode. So we should be good. This is episode 6 of the Mistborn Adventure Game series. Mistborn Adventure Game is a narrative-focused tabletop role-playing game made by Crafty Games set on the world of Scadrial. The giveaways for today's episode, I'm going to hand you over to Giveaway Ben in the future, and he's going to tell you all about today's giveaway and last episode's winners.
What's up? It's your boy Giveaway Ben. I'm back giving you a giveaway for this episode 6 of Diceborn. Today's giveaway is going to be the Crafty Games giveaway. This is one of the Mistborn rulebooks that we're going to be giving away today. This is, if you own the Mistborn rulebook, we can give you another one of the books that from Crafty Games. All you'll need to do is be a subscriber, and then leave a comment down below. We're thinking of commissioning some artwork, some lovely artwork, based on some of the things that have happened so far in Diceborn. So leave down comments down below of ideas of things that we could get some lovely artwork commissioned for, because we love our artwork, we love our artists in the Brandon Sanderson community. Throwing our minds back to the last giveaway, the winner of that was Tellingdwar, who actually has already received his lovely mystery goodie bag from Dragonsteel, and it contained these items. Ooh, look at those items! So congratulations, Tellingdwar, for winning that last time. I should also mention that the giveaway for the Crafty Games rulebook, for the Mistborn Adventure Game rulebooks from Crafty Games, that is a worldwide giveaway, so anyone can enter, and as long as you're a subscriber and you leave that comment about what artwork you think we should get commissioned based on the stuff that happened in the series. Thank you again to Crafty Games for firstly making Mistborn Adventure Game. We're having a ton of fun playing it, and thank you for providing us with these rulebooks to give away. Cool, I'll let you get back to the episode. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Giveaway Ben. Okay, so without much further ado, Natasha, did you want to kick off episode 6 of Diceborn?
Yes, well, as always, we start off with recap. So, I know that you all are just jumping at the bit to do recap.
No, nothing!
Well, yes, and this is very important for Rosemary, because Rosemary knows nothing about what happened last episode.
I feel like Matt should do the recap.
Okay. This route. So, yeah, no, I should do. This is an appropriate one for me to do the recap. So, we were all kind of tying up loose ends before this planned journey. Royce started by doing some research and was just kind of organizing his copper mines and storing away some knowledge for later use. Luka had tea with his grandmother, Adine Ilariel, and she was very disappointed in him, which hit Luka pretty hard because he's used to being the much beloved prodigal grandson. Marelyn hooked up with a fence who was going to help her sell some of the goods they got from the auction. The fence named Mint was also wondering if Marelyn and her crew might be available for a job in town. He's looking for Kolos spikes and told her to let him know if she finds any of those. Who knows if we're going to run into some Kolos spikes on this mission. Marelyn was also trying to get some info about Mint, about what Eddie's recent activities were in the area. She could see Mint he's pretty discreet, so he was a little iffy on whether or not he wanted to tell her anything. But Marelyn was able to tell that because Mint was being somewhat cagey about it, Eddie probably was working with Mint. Then Royce and Luka and Hallie went on a university tour, or started a university tour. They were led initially by a peppy tour guide named Steffi, who was just doing a fantastic...
Gotta have something
best.
on there, because I don't think it was there.
Well, no, just a second.
Okay.
So Steffi starts the tour, and then we see a couple of faculty members in the background, including Timuth Brunswick, a professor of alloy research and metallurgy, who we decided on Rate My Professor, the Elendel Daily equivalent, would have a 1 star and a spicy pepper. Hallie had a look of disgust upon encountering this individual, and stomped off muttering obscenities. I did not write down the specific phrase, but
Then at least I know what it was.
yeah. So it was good. So they did the tour, and we managed to get down to a body bunker, or a mortuary type setup. We found the body of Cassandra. Rest in peace, Cassandra.
Very sad. And
there's a lot of wounds in the bodies, which was not fun. We also realized that Rafe was on the board, Luka's ex-friend / it's complicated person. Royce memorized the location of the spikes, but then Rafe came down to confront them. Luka and Royce managed to play it off as they were looking for somewhere quiet and alone to be as a pair, which seemed to bother Rafe a bit, to Luka's surprise. And they also, as they left the morgue, realized there was some sort of time dilation effect going on, as it was much later. Once they got out, though, they realized there might be something in Rafe's office, and so they went back and really wished Hallie was there to pick the lock. But somehow... Royce managed to get very lucky with Luka's tie pin and pick the lock, because they also had no lock picking to them.
Extremely lucky that was. That was extremely lucky.
It was a very high roll. They found a key to a janitor's closet, and behind a false back, they found Genevieve / Jelly tied up. And so they were able to get her out and back to the brass ladle. Back there, Marelyn was telling Ghost what to pack on the trip, likely in an attempt to distract him. And we got together, we talked about Jelly, talked about Edgar's involvement and how he knows where we're going anyway. He probably knows too much information. During the meeting, Royce and Luka's names were given away. I
haven't actually watched it back to confirm that one.
Yeah. And then we interviewed Jelly. She didn't have a lot of memory. She is a misting, though, and can burn cadmium. Her family had recently fallen on hard times, and it has something to do with the Interial Consortium, where her mother worked. She heard a couple names, including Mira and Gavin. We confirmed that Gavin was one of Luka and Rafe, or one of Luka's former friends, part of Rafe's group. They did not think that Mira was Mirabelle. though. That might be someone different. So we've considered we can't do much more about the missing people. We managed to save the most recent victim. And the others, it seems like it's too late for, unfortunately. We talked about the possibility about leaving a tip with the Connors, but we're concerned about that might not go anywhere because of some corruption. And then Royce, at some point, is going to need to transcribe the plates and figure out what is in the coin. Was there a coin that he found that had something?
The metal mind. Oh yes, right. The coin. Oh no! There was a coin.
That he did not tell us about.
That he has not told us.
He didn't tell anyone about it, and he hid it.
Yeah.
He found a coin that he got a tingle from. Right. So.
Tingle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what my notes said.
So now we have going with us Ghost, Jelly, and Eddie are all coming with us.
I knew that'd be your reaction.
Eddie invited himself along.
Yes.
Of course he did. Has he found out yet what Hallie did to the plate?
No, I think he said he's got a second team that's dealing with the plate situation, but he hadn't retrieved it yet.
I mean, he's planning on double-crossing us, and he's not going to be happy at what he finds.
Yeah.
And
it's okay. That sounds like a Marelyn problem, you know.
and Hallie's not going to admit anything to him. Wow, what a shame.
Mm.
They really need to fix the insulation in those university buildings, Luka.
Yeah. But yeah, Hallie was definitely very, very missed. Her skill set, she was the right person to be on that team for sure. So
I'm sorry.
You
all know why I was gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can imagine the absolute disaster in front of a locked door with Royce and Luka. Just how do we open the door?
we were saying like probably the two worst people on the team. Like Hallie could melt the lock. Dervish could just break the lock. Marelyn at least has a criminal background and probably would get a bonus dice on the lockpick roll. Like,
yeah, it was.
Yeah, sure, Hallie could melt the lock, but it's so much easier. It's simpler to pick it, and then no one knows you were there.
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
So we have just a. What?
Can I add one more thing to the recap quickly?
Yeah.
And now the entire noble society thinks that Luka and Royce are planning a getaway to the countryside together. They don't know about the rest of the crew going.
Yep. That will be the implied rumors.
Oh yeah.
That are going around. Okay, so to get going, we can either start with Hallie saying goodbye to her parents, or we can start with Dervish and the two things that Ben wanted to do.
Would Hallie like to go first?
Be fairly short unless Natasha plans on chucking some curveballs at me, which she's never done that with my parents before.
I like opening with a Hallie scene after you weren't there last episode.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well.
Sounds good.
Alright, so Hallie's got a rucksack packed up, and she's like, I'll be gone for, I don't even know how long we're going to be gone, but however long they're planning.
And did you, warn your parents that you were leaving, or is this just
oh no, she would have told them.
Her room.
No, she would have told them.
Okay.
It's and she would have told them it's a work thing. It's a work trip.
and your mother has packed you like a picnic basket. And it's like stuffed with a bunch of stuff like from their little outside garden that your father has tended to. And there's like, some extra cheeses and homemade bread and all of these sweet little like delicious things. And even like she's splurged on some like little, like you can see like placed on top, there's like some little like taffies that have been, she clearly went out of her way to get for you. And she's like, well, you'll be needing this. Don't eat it all in one sitting.
This is way more than we're gonna have food.
Well, yes, but not good
wilderness.
food. Like, you're traveling. Like, it's road food, not like healthy, wholesome food.
Point in her life, Hallie has learned that arguing doesn't help, and she just sighs and says, "Hey, thanks, Mom."
And where are you going again? So that I can, if you're there for too long, then I can send post. You never know. Sometimes, those jobs go for a while.
But we're going to be moving around, because I'll kind of give her a general area. She's like, but we don't necessarily be in the same place for more than a couple days at a time, so I don't really know exactly where I'm going to be. But if I do wind up stopping somewhere for a while, I'll send you a letter.
Okay, that would be good. Thank you.
And she realized probably what she's going to have to do is send like a postcard every day to keep her mom happy. And she's just like, I already have the postcards in my rucksack. I'm ready to do this. This is just how she is.
And you're quite certain that like tucked somewhere in this picnic basket is like either a letter or like extra postcards or something of that sort, right? Like that extra little layer of like hinting and just maybe a touch of guilt, but like hinting.
Like her mom definitely wrote like "I love you" on a slip of paper and put it in with the food.
Yeah,
there are definitely very good reasons why Hallie's mom is like this. We'll just say for the audience who doesn't necessarily know Hallie's backstory at this point. There are very good reasons why Hallie's mom is like this.
And so like while your mother is like completely fussing over you and your dad is just he's in, like a larger chair and just kind of he's relaxing reading, like one of the papers, and he seems to have kind of like is just ignoring the fact that you're leaving. Like it's more of a denial rather than a like extra care, and like your mother is being completely fussy and your dad is just kind of like
he's trying to pretend like it's not happening.
Yes, this is not the way that this is, she's not going off across the countryside on a journey that we've made once before. This isn't potentially dangerous. This isn't like,
within the basin, it's not that bad.
He's just,
Of course, they don't actually know that there's a potentiality for going out to the roughs, but...
Yes, but anytime anyone's traveling anywhere, it's, a cause for concern. All of those bandits and highwaymen and train robberies and, all sorts of things. Criminals.
Yeah. I mean, the basin isn't that big. You can travel by train across it in less than a day, maybe a little of that. It's the basin itself. I think the basin plus the roughs all together are still less than the size of Texas. Which is a lot of space, but it's not crazy. Anyway,
But
Hallie
yeah.
will hug her dad and not say much.
Yeah, and he kind of does this, like, one-arm hug pat thing, like, mostly just focusing on, what he's reading, and he kind of, like, as you're about to head out the door, and your mother has, like, hustled over to the stairs, and is, like, still a little bit, like, hey, here, and she's, like, fixing, things on your rucksack and, like, making sure everything's, like, tied and tight and stuff. He kind of looks over his shoulder at you, and he's like, come back safe, okay?
The plan. Remember, you can set the bandits on fire.
Wow. Not everything is avoidable.
Yes, but when you can't avoid it, make it really, really warm.
He just nods and goes back to his paper. And, as you are going down the stairs, your mother follows after you. And she's like,
She does.
Yeah, she does. She comes down the stairs with you to the door and, opens the door and stands on the porch and then she says, now, if you see any of the family, if you go out to, like, any of the farming country or anything like that, be sure to say hi and, stop in, give our love.
She's got to be talking about Hallie's dad's family because all of her family is in some parents' enclave.
Yes.
And they're still peeved that she left.
Yes. She's more like, where they came from, the farms back home and, where she knows you won't be heading out of the basin, but like, when you're a farming family, it's like you generally have like along that like trade route, right? It's like you generally have like relatives scattered.
Hallie has zero intent of visiting any of her relatives.
Oh, of course. But your mom's kind of like encouraging you to. She's like, if you have the time, I was tempted to send like gifts or whatnot. But I know you like to travel light, so at least stop in if you're anywhere close. You might as well. And if you do get anywhere close to the old homestead, make sure to visit the grave sites and, maybe plant some flowers and, she kind of trails off getting quiet, like dancing around, the issues.
I can do, Mom.
Okay. Yeah, I always regretted that we couldn't, when someone dies, you can't, like, bring them with you when you move. So, I regret that we're not there to tend to that and to, remember, Emmett and, so please just, if you can, or even if it's, like, just, like, a day out of your way, like, take the time and maybe go and...
Yeah.
Your dad obviously doesn't want to talk about it, but, yeah, okay, so be safe, I love you, and, and she gives you this, warm hug, and, the picnic basket is, like, getting in the way of her, putting her arms around you, but she, is making sure that you're well aware of her affection before
right
we send you off.
Dang.
And despite the fact that you are a full-grown adult, she kisses you on the forehead and goes, okay, go on.
reminding Hallie of how short she is. And finally, Hallie gets out the door. She looks at her rucksack, and then she looks at the picnic basket that is almost as big as the rucksack, and she's like, traveling light, huh? And off she goes.
At least you weren't sent with a bunch of presents for everyone.
That would have been a problem.
Okay. Yes.
Hallie has zero intention of eating all of this herself. She probably physically can't eat all of it herself.
Probably not.
So, we got traveling snacks.
Woo! So with the size of our party now, you know, it's gonna be needed.
It's perfect.
Yes.
Right, so Dervish.
Yes.
Would you rather start with wrapping things up with Leah or start with seeing what you can do about...
I would like to see what I can do about the science place first. Okay. So
okay.
It's too bad Hallie wasn't there for any of this, because she probably would have been the perfect co-conspirator for this nonsense.
Yeah. I mean, there's no. As I say,
no reason to take her along.
Yeah.
Well, you could still.
I said so. My plan is I want to do one of either two things. I either want to warn everyone, like the kind of the network that I know, the group of people that I see to, that like people called Mira and Gavin. If you're approached by someone called Mira or Gavin, like don't trust them. Like this is a general warning to people. And they're or kind of, I don't know how I do this, because I kind of want to firebomb the science labs, right? But I feel like putting that would be a risky thing for me to do, and I don't want to put myself in the situation. And so I kind of want to imply or find someone who might be willing to do that, you know?
Huh.
Yeah. So like if in mechanical terms,
gangs are for.
Yeah, in mechanical terms, I'm trying to make an attack on the reputation of these two people in some way.
Okay. So what we have here. So I'm going to need you to roll me an influence roll.
I was really worried you say that, because I have 2 influence.
Yeah. Let me see what we're gonna put the difficulty at.
If I was okay, so let's here's what I'm thinking. If I was to go about my day, warn people about Mira and Gavin, and then after that, I'll say bye to Leah, and then I'll go out and I'm just gonna chuck a Molotov at the science and then scarp her away.
Okay. Okay, you could do that.
Yep.
Made for questionable life choices.
This is
so
my first time burning a building down, you know. It's
for influencing their reputation, I need a difficulty 2 influence roll.
Cool. And I'm
It's a pretty light difficulty, because apparently their reputation isn't all that great to begin with.
You get an extra dice if, like, he's just telling people within sort of his, like, soup kitchen.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, so that's why the difficulty is low, is that it's not, he's not creating a lie, he's not, you know, like, he is damaging their reputation, but he's not damaging it amongst the nobility, right? Like, he's not, like, laying any seeds of deceit He's more just, warning people. And so what I'm kind of more rolling for is how far is this spreading? How well are you, connecting everyone into this information?
Go. And I'm going to make my roll. Well, that's a 2 and a 1, so that's a nothing.
Nope.
Okay. But you do have a nudge, so make sure you keep that.
Yeah.
Okay. Or no, you don't have a nudge. Nudge is
Yeah, there's nothing.
Yeah, that is a 0 and a 0.
the big nothing. All right. So after a long day of, walking around, talking to people, canvassing kind of deal, you return back to the brass ladle. And the brass ladle is fairly quiet. It's like probably late afternoon. It's not quite dinner time yet. People are more preparing in the kitchen. It's obviously your day off. You've let everyone know that essentially, you're headed out of town. Come tomorrow. So we're taking a last day to wrap everything up, prepare for your trip. And when you come in and you're, kind of looking around, you see that Leah is in the kitchen, kind of just preparing food. They're making kind of like a big sheet pan of like a pie kind of deal. But rather than doing it in a circle, it's just a flat.
I'm just gonna kind of take a big breath for courage and just go up to Leah and just say, "Hey, can I just chat to you for a second?"
I'm working. Do you need this done privately, or can I keep?
Private would be. I'd rather just the two of us.
Okay. And she, kind of like smears off, the flour powder on her apron and, kind of follows you out into the hall, and she says, "All right,
So I know things didn't really work out between us, and part of that was I'm not good at telling people, I'm not good at opening up about myself. And I know that caused tension between us, but I just I had my reasons for that, and those reasons have caught up to me, and I don't know if I'm going to be leaving tomorrow. I'm sure you've heard from the other. I've told some of the other staff, so I'm sure you've heard. But I might not be coming back, and so I just wanted to say, I understand. I'm. You tried your best with me, and I appreciated that. And you were always discreet when it came to my other work, and so I just wanted you to know I always really appreciated that.
all right." You're welcome. It's like she's not quite sure what to do with this.
Yeah. I will just. Yeah.
She's like, "We're broken up. I mean, I obviously still care for you, but telling me this now does nothing. Like,
Yeah.
what do you want me to do?"
in that case, I didn't know how this was gonna go, and so I kind of just go awkwardly, just, well, see you around.
She says, "Wait, is this like dangerous? Are you like? Why are you saying like? Why does this feel final?
Because
why do you feel the need to say this?
Because it might be final. That's why I felt the need to say this. This is I don't want to get into it.
Oh my god, Dervish is such an idiot.
He's not good at this. He's not very good at this at all.
No.
You're doing the thing you're apologizing for.
He goes, if I come back, I'll tell you why.
What do you have to lose?
It's a very good point. Oh, this is a long story. Oh, man. Okay. So, I did in the past, I did some bad things out in the roughs before I moved here. And someone has come to find me in this city to essentially make me pay the price for some of the bad things I did. One of the big bad things I did. And I need to essentially go back to the roughs and settle the score. And it might be the final settlement, you know. It might be, as I said, I might not be coming back.
I can see the thoughts that are running around in her head, and I'm not there.
Okay. Well, thank you for finally telling me something.
No.
It's still a little vague, but it's something. Wait here.
Oh.
And she, without like any fanfare, she just turns around and walks off.
Oh, okay.
She just expects that you will wait.
Yep, I wait.
Okay. And when she comes back, she has a box. And it's like, about this big, wood. She just says, okay, well, if you're going to the roughs, I'm going to give you this. I think you'll either know how to use it or you'll figure it out. You should just give you it.
Okay.
But yeah. Hope you come back.
I'll take the box and open it.
Okay. And as you open it and like focused on that, she just turns and goes back into the kitchen. And inside of it is a gun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a gun and it has ammo, and it's actually a pretty nice gun.
Okay.
It has inlaid into the what's it called? The handle?
Grip.
That's not it. Grip. I should know this, but yeah, into the handle. It's like, kind of like that mother of pearl. Like someone obviously cares for this gun. Like it's a beautiful gun. And there's also in the boxes, like a bag of bullets.
Oh, I'll take it out. And is there any like words carved into it, like a name engraved in it or anything like that? Has the gun got a name?
Yes, it has her name on it.
Oh,
Leah.
Oh, I feel like this is way too fancy for this. I'm Dervish is very touched by this, and he's like, that rusting woman. Just takes a big deep breath, closes it, and I'm gonna head upstairs, and I'm gonna find like my personal locker that I have. Open that up and got my very few belongings in there. My traveling cloak. I have my shotgun, my sawn-off shotgun that I have keeping there, kind of at the back. I'll put that in a bag with the gun, with the box with the gun, and at the very back of the locker, behind some shirts, I pull out the Kolos sword that's hidden at the back of the locker, which is all.
Anyway.
all...
They're huge.
It's a big locker. It's a big locker, I swear.
Yeah, I just hid it behind the elephant.
I probably would have, to be honest, I probably would have had it on like a false back. I probably would have had that and the gun on like a false back on the locker.
Just not even sure Kolof's sword would fit into a locker.
They're only like this tall,
You have to like angle it to get it in.
Yeah, it's like proper jammed in there. There's like the corner of the locker's bent out of shape, And then I've got it like in a like a really big duffel bag, because if I just walking around with it, it'd be pretty obvious what it is. So it's just a big bit of canvas is kind of for trans. It just kind of looks like a big duffel bag, and yeah,
a big, really big duffel bag.
Really big duffel bag. This thing is not inconspicuous, but it's not obviously a sword. But
I mean, presumably you have a tent in there as well.
Yes.
So that is about the best way to disguise that. Yeah. Hide it with the tent.
Yeah. Cool. And then I head out into the night, and I'm going to go and try and find a place to buy some Molotov cocktails.
Can't you just make those?
Yeah, I guess I could just make.
You just need a high enough percentage alcohol solution and a rag, and
right.
Cool. Yeah, I do that instead. Then I just.
Hey, I'm looking to buy some Molotov cocktails. Nothing fishy going on around here.
Just get yourself some rubbing alcohol, and you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will have you make a resource check. It's just a 1.
Yeah.
I like to imagine that Dervish kind of comes and finds the crew and is like, "Hey, Marelyn, like, do you contacts know how to like where to buy a Molotov cocktails?" And like Marelyn and Hallie are just like, "What are you talking about? Just make one."
I think that's actually a great idea. I might go hunt down. I'd probably go hunt down Hallie, because in my head I'm like, it's hot, and Hallie's like a heat person, so I'm gonna be like, "Do you know where I could get some Molotov cocktails?"
In character now.
Yeah.
Okay, one thing. So at some point during the trip over, Hallie went in, opened the picnic basket, grabbed the taffies, and put them into her bag because she's probably not sharing them. She really likes those taffies. And then she gets to the place. Okay, and she's like, she looks at Dervish. She's like, "You're joking, right?"
In my experience, people have always just given them to me. I've never had to get one myself. So
You just need alcohol that's a high enough proof and a rag. And if you don't want to waste good booze, get like the rubbing alcohol they sell for like first aid kits and shit and rest. You just need something that's high enough alcohol that will burn and a rag. You stuff the rag in there as the fuse, you light it, and then you throw it. So yeah.
Cool. Rubbing alcohol.
Burnable alcohol in the bottle.
Yep.
Rag.
Yep.
Fuse.
I'm like writing this down. Like yep. Cool.
No, like, extra questions.
Like I've used them before.
Does Hallie see the new gun? Or is he wearing it now, or
No, I put the box in my bag.
Okay, dang.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna make a resources roll. I know this sounds very foolish due to the fact that I didn't know how to make one 5 minutes ago, but can I add my profession as a roughs raider to this roll?
Sure.
Cool.
I can accept it.
Meanwhile, Hallie is like, what do you need a Molotov cocktail for?
Ask me on the train tomorrow.
No, I'm asking you now because you're about to get yourself in deep rust.
Okay. So, I think, Luka and Royce, I don't know if you've caught up with them on what they found during the tour.
I'm pretty sure Royce is still pissed at me, so I've been kind of avoiding.
Fair enough. Yeah, so they found Cassandra, one of the ladies that attends the brass ladle. We're used to pretty regularly. She'd been they found her there and dead, and so I don't think we have enough time to kind of deal with whatever is going on in there, and so I'm just gonna see if I can't scare them a little bit. Maybe get the building closed down for a bit of time. It's a university. They're not gonna, burning buildings.
That jackass was a student skirt chaser, but this is some serious bullshit.
Yeah. Hey, you want to come?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I need to put my stuff somewhere. My mom packed a lot of snacks.
Cool. I'm gonna make the roll quick.
Basket.
I'm gonna make the roll quick. And
I'm
I got
not there.
Okay.
Yay!
Yeah, and I got a 1 and 2 nudges. Cool.
Perfect.
the perfect roll.
Yeah. So you and Hallie go to back to the science building. I will need a physique roll from both of you.
Ooh.
Okay. I'm out of character having second thought, or I'm not there, but I'm having second thoughts about trying to burn down this building when we don't know for sure that there aren't any other people locked inside, unable to escape, but I'm sure it'll be fine.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Dervish is just trying to scare them. He's not trying to burn down the entire building, knowing there were people locked in there.
Yeah, one Molotov's is like it's
intimidation factor.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of fire, right? Right, fire doesn't like spread or anything. It's fine, It's only going to be a little bit of fire.
In the meantime, Hallie is going to try while they're traveling. Hallie is going to ask for details on what the hell happened.
Go, and I'll just fill you in on what happened with Jelly and all that.
Alright, and then we can at least say, so Hallie says, so there was at least one room you couldn't get into?
Yeah, I think Royce said it was the janitor's closet next to the director's office.
And
I thought we did get into that room.
You did get in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually
That's where
you did.
Jelly was.
Yeah.
Okay. So they couldn't unlock it, but they got a different... They eventually got in anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Hallie may make some motions. You mentioned of, like, just in case there are people still locked in there. Maybe we should be careful not to burn the whole damn thing down.
Yeah. I'll throw it high up. And so when the fire spreads up, it'll just burn the roof a bit.
Yeah, it's not necessarily how fire works. I'm thinking what you need is... Alright, she looks at the bottle. She takes the bottle of isopropyl alcohol. She pulls the rag out of the bottle. She pours most of the alcohol back into the bottle it came out of, screws the top back on. There.
There you go.
Less fire.
less fire. Cool. Good idea. Excellent. Okay. Physique rolls, you say?
What's the difficulty, or?
This is going to be a difficulty 2.
Cool. Would you like to go first? There you go.
Sure.
Mostly because you are trying to control the burn slightly.
Well, that didn't go well.
That's a 0 and 2 nudges from Hallie.
Okay.
And then, can I add Rough's Radar to this one as well? Awesome. So that's 8 dice.
You're gonna...
Yeah, that's
You're
a 3.
fine.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so Dervish is very good at lighting buildings on fire.
Unfortunately so.
Yeah, it actually kind of surprises Hallie he doesn't know how to make the Molotov cocktails, but he knows how to use them.
He's got good aim.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm glad I poured most of the alcohol out of that.
It was very on point. And now I want you, Bull, to make me a spirits roll of 3.
Oh dear. I am so screwed there.
The bane of our party's existence, spirits roll.
2. And I'm sure there is nothing in here I can add to that. No.
That's the 3 and a 1. Make that 0.
I have no luck.
Yeah. So I have a spirits of 4. Is it something I can add Rough's Radar to?
Yes.
Excellent. Cool. 5 dice, and that's a 1, so that's a fail as well.
Oof. Okay. Okay. Well, I'll just take a note of that. That can come back later.
Someone's lost.
Excellent. And then we go scarpering off into the night.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, so you all gather to get going, and sitting in the room is Eddie. And he's kind of, picking like a couple pieces of fruit out of the picnic basket that was left unattended while Hallie and Dervish went off to go
Slaps
do
his
things.
hands.
Yeah, and
Not
Ghost
yours.
is already there being like, you shouldn't do that. That's not yours. Like, stop that. And he's like, you guys are thieves. Like, calm down.
Yeah, Hallie smacks his hands. He's like, next time, I burn.
And Edgard just, waves off his hand and finishes, plopping the piece of fruit in his mouth and leans back in his chair. And Ghost pipes up and he goes, so, well, Royce, won't be coming today. I talked to him, and, well, he talked to me, and he said that he has a lead on some sort of information thing, here in the city, so he's gonna follow that, and then he's gonna meet you at meet us, I'm coming with, meet us at, the spa at the edge of the basin. There's a spa. So he's gonna meet us there.
I think we have to pass. I'll be near Dry Post, I think. That's the town nearest the pass to the roughs.
But yeah, so Ghost imparts this information as soon as most of you are there. Luka is running a little bit late, but does arrive eventually.
Can I say the reason why he's running late?
Absolutely.
Okay. So Luka is back at his flat, and Royce is off doing something, not there to help him manage time, and he's pretty stressed that Rafe seems to be mixed up in something pretty dark. So he's gonna try writing Rafe a letter, like a note. So first he's gonna say, "Dear Rafe," and then he's gonna cross out the dear, and just write Rafe. And then he's gonna write, "Apologies for bumbling about the," and then he's gonna cross that out because it feels too casual and jokey. And then he's gonna say, "I'm heading out of town for a couple of," and then he's gonna cross that out because he feels like it's none of Rafe's business what he's doing. He shouldn't be telling him things. So then he's gonna try write, "I don't know what you were involved in, but," and then he's gonna cross that out too because he just feels like he shouldn't be concerning himself too much with Rafe. Then he's gonna write, "Nice seeing you, stay safe," and then he's gonna cross out the "nice seeing you." So the final note just reads, "Rafe, stay safe, best Luka." And then he's going to arrange for that to be delivered after they leave.
All the other stuff that's been crossed out on the same piece of paper?
No, once he has a final draft.
That would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
So Rafe saw Luka and Royce in his building. Then the next day it gets firebombed, and then he gets a letter. "Stay safe."
I was thinking about this, and Luka doesn't know the university got firebombed. So,
I love it. Okay, perfect.
and so that's why he was late, because he thought this letter would take 5 minutes to write, and it took him longer because he was.
And Royce wasn't there to be fussing over, "Hey, we gotta be going, now."
And he probably started that 3 minutes before he was supposed to be there, and he should have already left by that point anyways.
Yes, precisely.
Perfect.
Great.
Okay.
So, Allie pulls a little padlock out of one of her pouches and padlocks the picnic basket. Because of course it's set up for that.
Yeah.
Sure. I feel like she just locks it through the twine. It's not how picnic baskets can be woven together. She just kind of finagled it in there. And Grace, you said that Marelyn was wearing a particular wardrobe for this trip.
So Marelyn is this is her first time leaving the city. They're gonna go on a train out into the rest of the basin. So she's dressed up a little bit and the vibes of someone in older times kind of going on a boat or a plane for the first time. Not as nice as as if she was infiltrating the court, but she's definitely dressed up a bit. And she has this very large, fashionable, wide brimmed hat on. And very, very nice, a dress. It's a bit plain, but definitely nicer than her usual stuff. And it's if you look in Ghost's wardrobe, he also has a hat that's a little bit big on him. And if you ask Marelyn, she's wearing this hat to make Ghost feel better and be part of the team. But in reality, she just eavesdropped in on what Luka was telling Ghost to pack because she didn't know what to pack herself. And so that's why she's wearing this giant, very fashionable, wide brimmed hat. ready to go.
Yeah.
And she definitely has more stuff than like Hallie or a lot of the crew. Probably less than Luka still, but she definitely did not pack as light as some of the other members of the crew.
Yeah, and Ghost, he has his wide brim hat is attached by like a string around his neck. He hasn't quite put it on yet. It's kind of like over the back of his rucksack, because he's noticed that the only one wearing a wide brim hat is Marelyn, and so he's not actually quite sure if he should be wearing the hat or not, because the person that he thinks leads the crew is wearing one, but everyone else isn't. So he's still trying to sort out this situation.
Marelyn is fashionable enough that it like could be considered part of the outfit.
Yes,
but
part of
not
her
really.
ensemble. And his is like made of like straw.
Oh, he's precious.
But yeah, so you all go to this train station. You did manage to get some tickets on the train, but it's like an evening train out. So you'll be sleeping on the train and then have some of the day right where you're still traveling. So kind of like a red eye plus. But yeah, so you all go on the train, hand in your tickets, get settled in for the evening. Are you all traveling like together or like in separate areas of this train?
We're at least somewhat condensed, especially the way. The question is whether we're doing like the coach sleeper cars or if we've got our own private compartment. Which
I can kind of just leave this up to you, because I'm at this point.
Depends on who. I bet it depends on who booked the tickets.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, if I got the tickets, I got us. We're all in the just the wide open cargo.
But if Luka booked the tickets, then we have private compartments.
Yes.
I think Luka would have booked the tickets because people are going to know he's going out of town anyway because he's part of like the social scene. So, yeah.
Are we doing a men-women split between two
probably
rooms?
That means Hallie has to room with Marelyn, which oh well.
Luka and Dervish and Ghost
and Eddie.
No, Eddie's paying his own way.
Oh, okay.
he can take
He's
care
probably out in coach.
Yeah.
So it's Luka, Dervish, Ghost in one room, Marelyn, Hallie, and Jelly in another.
Yes.
There we go.
Perfect. Yeah, so you all settle down for the evening.
Once we're in our room, Hallie will unlock the picnic basket and share the snacks with her roommates.
Jelly is quite grateful for the snacks. She doesn't necessarily like say more than like thank you, but obviously from the way that she's like almost squirreling through it, like, you know, like picking and choosing obviously what are her favorite things and things that she probably hasn't had since she's been, you know, kind of down and out. She's clearly quite grateful for the little treat.
I think I'm going to try and show Luka some card games, and Ghost and teach them a bit of whatever Schedule's version of poker would be. You know.
Okay. Yeah. So
at some point during the evening, Hallie will sneak a couple of pieces of the taffy into one of Jelly's bags when no one's looking.
Okay, we'll see when she finds that. I would like everyone to make me a spirits roll of 2.
Can we add anything?
Uncovering plot.
Oh, wow. That doesn't happen every day.
Hallie rolled 2 dice and got 2 5s.
Okay, well,
The one and only time in this campaign that Hallie gets lucky.
Yeah. Can we add anything to the spirits roll?
If you're going out and like socializing with other passengers or like kind of those things, right? More diplomacy, that sort of thing. Then you can add that. Other than that, probably not. I think Dervish, I'll give you your roughs.
Oh, cool.
Because we're kind of heading into that territory, and the information I have to give you has to do with that.
Cool.
But I think for the most part, the rest of you, it's
cool.
Like
I rolled 5 dice and I got a 3 and a nudge, and that puts me up to 3 nudges for this session as well.
Okay.
I don't think Luka's going to be out and about. I think he's going to stick with the crew, so I'm just going to roll my 2 spirits dice and hope to be as lucky as Hallie was. A 2!
Yeah!
Yeah.
So, close enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I add like my danger sense, or like my trait is that I'm jaded, so I'm kind of like looking out. I like sort of expect something to go wrong, maybe.
Yes.
That is 4 passes. All 4 of us passed this.
I got
Very
2
good.
and no nudges.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it this session.
Yes, I can see it this session. My internet has gotten better since we moved, so
Yay!
Ooh.
hoping for good things here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will start disseminating this information and getting everyone a little bit of things.
Mm.
So, boys or girls first?
I think Hallie's 5 deserves to go
Yeah.
first.
I want to know what the 5
Ladies
gets.
first. So, Hallie and Marelyn and Jelly are, sitting around their compartment, snacking and hanging out. And at first, things are fairly quiet. Things tend to be tense between Hallie and Marelyn in general, and Jelly isn't the most talkative. She's still kind of, mousy and quiet and just watches everything.
Still, just her being there probably helps a little bit.
It
Even
probably
if she's not
eases the
saying.
tension between the two of you, because there's like that social barrier, right?
Mhm.
And she goes, eventually she kind of feels like she has to break the tension, given the fact that it's been quiet for so long. She goes, so, have either of you been out to the Roughs before?
Nope.
No, unfortunately, this is my first trip out here. What about you?
No. I haven't gone anywhere further than, the basin. For the most part, every once in a while I would travel with my mother to, take a accounting stock of some of her various clients. But I haven't been out rough. I've heard it's quite a rough place. I'm not sure if I'm excited for the adventure or I've had quite enough adventure in the past little while.
I guess it sort of depends. Got some cousins who used to go out there on the regular. They said sometimes the most interesting thing is the wildlife because you gotta watch out for the lions. But so just don't go wandering out in the wilderness. Closest I ever came was out in one of the mountain communities that's on the edge of the basin. My mother thought she would take us to visit her family. It did not go well.
That's a shame.
Yeah, well, her family is a bit nuts, even for Terrace Enclave people.
So she wasn't part of the Enclave, no?
She grew up there and then she left.
So what about your dad then?
Oh, he's just was just an ordinary farmer.
So are your mom and dad still together? So are they still farmers?
No, they moved into Elendel with me a few years back.
Do you have any siblings?
I used to.
Oh. Okay. And
Hallie
she
gets
just kind of
even quieter than usual after that.
She starts to just pivot the conversation. She's like, "What about you, Marelyn?"
What about me? I mean, you've met Eddie.
Eddie.
My dad?
Oh. I, for some reason, hadn't quite put together that he was your dad. Yet. Really neat. What about your mom?
I never knew her. Took off after I was born.
Well, she kind of bites her tongue for a moment and she's like, well,
for jelly.
I hope you don't mind me saying, but for having Eddie as your father, you turned out okay.
Thank you.
Hallie gets kind of a funny look on her face, but shouldn't say anything.
And Marelyn pivot the conversation. So it sounds like we're going to have to spend some time at the spa while we wait for Royce. You've been through an ordeal recently, Jelly. We should get you a full spa package while you're there, so you can find some time to decompress from your travels. What sort of things are you looking forwards to most? Hot spring, massage?
Oh yeah, that would all be lovely, and maybe some hot stones and nice cold drink.
Yes.
And for a moment, she gets kind of like a far off look, and then she kind of shakes her head and comes back, and she goes,
I'm sure Luka will be happy to pay for a full spa package for you. We can talk about it once we leave the train, but I'm sure he's a generous young man.
"You're sure he's a generous young man, or he is?"
He is.
Luka's a bit naive, but he's a good egg.
Marelyn volunteering Luka to pay for Jelly's spa day.
Well, he and Royce did rescue me, so
Yeah.
that was good. I'm grateful to them for that. There is a knock on the door of your cabin. And Jelly immediately goes quiet and seems to, ring back again.
Marelyn gets up with, a look of relief on her face.
And Hallie jumps up at exactly the same moment. And they're both, now awkwardly trying to figure out who's going to hit the door. So...
Marelyn kind of makes a move towards the door and watches Hallie to see if she reacts.
Hallie lets her. Whatever.
Is there a peephole in hotel room doors kind of that I can look through?
There's a little slide. So it's not a one-way kind of deal. It's if you open it, the person will know.
I'll open it. Open the slide.
Okay.
See who it is.
Your father is standing there, and he's dressed in quite a fancy.
Yeah, I knew he would scam his way into first class the second we got on his train. Marelyn sees Eddie and kind of just this long upon sigh, close it and kind of opens the door just enough for her to slip out and close the door behind her.
Okay.
Hi, dearest. I was wondering, so we're going to this spa place, yes?
Yes.
Will you be anticipating my presence while we're there?
The less your presence is around me, the better.
Excellent. Also, just so you know, I have discovered that there's some sort of protest going on outside of the spa. They've managed to keep it kind of, one, under wraps, but two, far enough away from the spa that it shouldn't affect any enjoyment of the various facilities. However, I did want to just let you know that there might be, some traffic getting there.
Hallie's voice calls from inside. What's the protest about?
Hallie's voice?
Yes, Hallie's voice. She's not even being subtle about listening in.
He says, you could come out here.
No.
Marelyn is surreptitiously leaning back against the door so to make it hard to open.
He says, well, the protest, there's this these series of factories or something, and apparently there's a lot of pollution going on, lots of smoke, and the water's kind of gone bad around the areas, and
he is listening very, very intently.
One of the men in charge of these factories is at the spa currently, despite several misfortunes at the
little slider in the door opens up and you see Hallie's eyes there. Who?
Let me think. Ooh, the name is just on the tip of my tongue. I wish I remember it.
Hallie's eyes narrow.
I would like you to make an influence roll for me.
Oh, great. This will be fun.
Marelyn just rolls her eyes at Eddie's antics.
Difficulty? 2. Nope.
Ooh, that's a 0.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I've got... I don't know, maybe I should have added another die because of her drive. Because this is something she really wants to know. So should I just roll one more die?
Yes.
Or,
and then
see if
it alters your...
Nope.
Nope.
Damn it.
Shame. He's like, I feel there's just something right there.
How big is this window? Big enough for Hallie's hand to fit through?
Probably, yeah.
Is he in reach?
No.
Damn.
He's like, I wish, it's probably the hunger. I'm so fatigued. These journeys just make me really hungry.
I'm sure there's plenty of food in whatever first-class cabin you scammed your way into.
All right, well.
Okay. Hallie's hand pops out with a muffin.
And he takes it and goes,
No. First you give me the information, then you get the muffin.
I've worked with some people like you before. Anyway, guy's name is Lufrin Portel.
Hallie gives him the muffin. Had it been any other name, she just would have taken it back. But he takes the
muffin. He's like, nothing better than, fresh made mom's home cooking. And he, kind of just takes a bite of it. Well, I will be seeing you around.
Closes the window again and mutters to Jelly, if he goes anywhere near my mom, I'm going to set him on fire.
Try not to get into too much mischief, Marelyn. Speaking of which, what is it that you've been up to since I last saw you? And he takes a bite of the muffin and crumbs kind of sprinkle down.
Well, this and that. I mean, I've got this for you, don't I?
So you just replaced me so quickly? And with Dervish, nonetheless.
I wouldn't say replaced you. Improved.
And Dervish doesn't know.
And you're not going to tell him.
Excuse me? What?
He's still listening.
Well, alright. But you should know by now that all secrets catch up with you. Even if it's not me bringing them out.
Is that all?
Are you sure you don't want to tell me what you were up to? Maybe I can help.
Eddie, if you really wanted to help me, you had so many opportunities when I was a kid. You've lost your chance, okay? And I found a new life, and I don't need you getting involved with me anymore. The sooner you're out of my hair, the better. And I'm going to go back into the room.
And he looks almost like he's going to speak, but you close the door before he can say any more. Marelyn, I will say from your spirits roll, after you get back into the room and you've sat down and kind of had a moment to let your anger fade, you get this feeling that your father knew what you were up to, and he was giving you an opportunity to be honest with him. Okay. So, to cover what your two spirits rolls got you, Hallie, that was the information on the fact that Lutheran is at the spa, and Marelyn,
which means there is a greater than 0 chance that Hallie is going to go off the rails.
Excellent.
And Marelyn, your father knows what you've been up to in this past however long.
Okay.
So, whether or not you can do what you will with that information, but up until the auction, right, he made no attempt to get in contact with you. As far as you know, he wasn't, on your radar. You just kind of didn't know what happened to him after that last job. But he clearly knows what was going on with you.
Okay.
Hey, let's go, the boys.
Yeah. I've got like the cards set out on the floor, and I'm like, okay, so you've got the numbers 1 to 10. You have the Counselor of the Gods next. Then you've got the Last Emperor. Then you've got the Ascendant Warrior. And then you've got Ionites. Now that card can be high or low depending on the rules of the game we're playing.
And Ghost is paying like incredibly intense attention to this, because he's like, clearly this is 1, a bonding activity, but 2, important information to know if I'm being taught this. So as you're setting up, he's very intently looking at the cards. And Luka, how are you? Are you playing as well, or are you bemoaning your state?
No, he's playing. I think he is a little uncharacteristically sullen.
Okay.
But he's playing.
And Ghost seems to be doing his best to cheer Luka up. Like, every once in a while, he kind of like pokes a finger at Luka, like not like touching Luka. He doesn't dare do that, but like it gets like really close to like Luka's side, like kind of like that annoying little sibling vibe, but not, not quite there. Like, I'm not touching you, but I clearly want to, because
Luka will kind of force a chuckle at Ghost's antics, and he has like a veneer of cheer, I think, and he's playing the game. And if he has like a good combo, he'll say, ha, in your face, but just, not constantly filling silence with talking, which is what his normal thing is.
And how is Dervish reacting to Luka's kind of more quiet behavior? Because this is something that Dervish would have picked up
Definitely,
on.
Yeah. I think he would have, as we're just playing the game, he would have just left space in the conversation. If like a topic kind of a discussion like ends, he doesn't immediately like try and start a new one. He just kind of lets it sit for a little while and just continues with the game.
So you've played a couple of rounds. Ghost seems to be getting very good at this game. Shockingly good, actually.
We're all going
And-
to regret teaching this kid how to gamble.
You're not
This
quite
kid is a
sure.
hustler in the making.
Yeah.
You're not quite sure how he got so good so quickly, but he's very good. He seems to know just, like, not necessarily what cards there are down, but he knows, like, you know, when he has a good hand versus when someone else is bluffing versus, you know, when he's kind of, you know, like, really tight lining it, like,
One taught this kid to card count.
very good. And eventually he kind of pauses and he goes quiet for a moment, right? Like, and you're in the middle of a hand and he just kind of like zones out almost. And then he says, "There's Connor's coming."
How I kind of look at Luka, and I'm like, and I stand up suddenly, like.
Well, what do we do? I guess, you know, we're just passengers.
I think.
And he kind of holds up his finger. And he's just quiet. And
Luka's gonna start burning Electrum. Just
Okay.
keep an eye out.
And he says, they're looking for Colas blooded.
I look around. Is there like a space for me to maybe not hide, but you know, if we open the slot in the door, if we open the door, is there a place where I'm like behind the door?
Yes, there's a way for you to kind of like conceal yourself. The door does slide, but there's the potential that you can like fit yourself into, you know, like one of the compartments that you would sleep in, right, and have the curtain drawn. And if Luka can convince them that there's no one else in there, that can potentially work, right? So you're hidden. But if they chose to come in, right, then you're up a creek without a paddle.
Cool.
So
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go into. I'm gonna hide in a bunk.
So Luka is like, okay, what shall we do? Ghost? And he's keeping kind of a hushed, like he'll say, Ghost, you are my young cousin who I am taking under my wing, all right? You are a competent youngster who is... We'll figure it out.
and then he points to Dervish's cards that on the floor, and he says, "You should."
Right.
Man, this kid's clever.
And yeah, Luka will throw Dervishes in the discard pile. And then
And kind of like as he says that, right, your like tin catches, you know, the door opening and the cards still being on the floor, and like that kind of switches.
Okay. So yeah, I got that, and then the door opens.
Yeah, so kind of with like just a brief knock, and then the door opens. Like it's not like they were giving anyone any time.
Yeah.
And there are two constables there, and you know, obviously in like uniform, and like obviously they're the ones that patrol the trains, right, and make sure nothing funny's going down.
What time is it, and how long have we been on the train?
So you've been on the train. Let's see. So you haven't been to sleep yet. So it's probably around like 11 in the evening. Is that fair?
Yeah.
So it's definitely kind of a impromptu, strange time for them to be, going around, whipping things open. And they peek inside and they go, sorry for the intrusion, but we're just doing a quick inspection, walkthrough. We've had some reports of crime in the area and some recent raids far too close for comfort. So we are doing a double check for any of the wanted in the cabins.
Oh, so I'm sorry. Is there a risk that this train could be hijacked? Is that what you're telling me? I'm
not hijacked. No.
Oh my goodness! I'm.
No, not at all. Please. No.
I'm sorry. I get very anxious about my personal safety, and that's why, we booked a private compartment for me and my young and his parents will murder me if something happened. You do understand. I'm not often. You might not believe this. I'm not often put in charge of young people. I knew I should have. And you know what? The crazy thing is, I even booked a ticket for a guard, and he called in sick, and I had to leave without, and now the train is getting hijacked. I cannot believe this.
The train is not, sir. The train is not getting hijacked. We are. Please let us assuage your fears of the train getting hijacked. That is.
Well, is there a more secure car? Is there a more that me and my young ward, could we be moved to, is there a car, next to is there a constable's car that we could be moved next to?
We can look into that, sir, but however, we will need to just search a compartment, just really quickly a look through. We have some suspects, that are wanted for crimes, that we believe could be fleeing the city, and as well as the surrounding areas. And we want to ensure that they are not aboard this train and hiding, having gotten on in Elendel or in any surrounding areas.
Well, what kind of suspect?
We are looking for 3 Kolos-blooded.
3, and what's their crime?
One is, Kolos-blooded. We have a couple counts of murder.
Murder! There is a murderer on this train?
Please, sir.
Oh my goodness.
There's nothing for sure. There's nothing for sure.
So you're saying there's a murderer on this train?
No.
I'm going to get my bags. Here, and young man, please start grabbing our bags. And he's grabbing bags, and he starts handing the Connors bags.
And Ghost starts pitching in and just grabbing bags and handing them to the Connors as well.
So, I feel like you're both armed, yes? I think the safest place will be with you. We will come, we will take all of our things, and then we will just follow you while you search. Actually, the
safest place will be here in your cabin. Perhaps lock the door.
Okay, yes, you're right, because it's just me in here and my young ward, and we can we'll put our bags against the door. Yes. And then we'll be safe.
Are either of you...
oh my gosh, I'm going to be sick. He's like,
You will be fine. It was just, it was just some raids, some murders, some arson. It's fine.
an arson. What if there's a fire up? Oh my goodness. I should have gotten better insurance.
Are not all your belongings in this compartment with you, sir?
No, they're all here, but, I'm not sure I got, not the basic policy, but like the one jump up, and I probably should have.
All right, sir.
I'm not,
Right,
I'll
sir.
have to review it and see what's all covered.
Please roll for me. Let's see. We will do influence of 2.
Influence, okay.
Are the Connors now to the point where they just want to get away from him and don't care about searching the compartment anymore?
Okay, this might be a weird way to use this feature, but Luka's inviting smile. Can I use this in the like this kid is so naive, like, and like can't, like he's like just so like kind of genuine seeming that it's really not worth their time or trouble because he's showing them how much trouble it's going to be to look through.
I can accept that, yes.
Okay. And this is, influence, okay. So that'll be a 7 dice, and what's the difficulty?
A difficulty 2.
Okay.
It'd be hard to not hit that.
Yeah.
With that many dice.
Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
It's all ones. Touch wood. Okay.
Yay!
2 and a nudge.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so the Connors are just like, no, sir, please just calm down. Take these back, and they kind of just hand you back your possessions. Shut the door if you're very concerned. You can close and lock it. However, the reason we are doing this check is to ensure that there is no danger aboard. We have not found any reason for alarm thus far. We actually believe that they are traveling by horse or by foot and not on train. However, it is important that we do our job and ensure that that is the fact.
Well, yes. Well, I'm glad you're doing my job. Do you need to, look through? And he starts like opening his bags, like, it's just, it's nicely folded.
I'm sure a coal lost blooded could not fit in your bags, sir. You can put those away.
Oh, quite right. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna just go lay down, and we'll prop the bags against the door. Thank you for doing your jobs, gentlemen. But really, you should lead with the, it's just routine thing. You should lead with that. And maybe don't tell other people about this, whole murder thing. That was, if it's just routine, that's very, very stressful.
Yes, I'm certain. But if you do see anything, don't hesitate to contact us.
Yes, of course. We will keep our eyes peeled out the window, and we'll shout loudly in alarm if we notice anything.
That will not be necessary. You can merely just walk down the corridor to come find us.
And where will you be found?
Somewhere along the corridor. There's one of us on each, car. You can just look out.
There's one of you on each car.
Yes.
Oh, that's relieving. Oh, I thought you were going to leave our car alone. And is someone watching, like, the little hookup thing to see if, someone might try to sever the car?
Sir,
I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm from a wealthy family, and
I think it's
very
best
helpless.
If you just go to sleep for the evening. And perhaps not tell any more people that you're from a wealthy family and very helpless.
Excellent advice. Excellent advice. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Have a good evening, and you too, lad. And he closes the door.
And Luka, as he's closing the door, is like about to be like, "Oh, and another thing." So like,
the way to get them to go away is to try to keep them there.
yeah.
Perfect.
I'm gonna wait until a conspicuous amount of time has passed, and then I'm gonna open the little curtain and just be like, "That was expertly done, new kid. That was."
And Ghost goes, "Thank you."
Oh, I think we have a very good team here. We've got our lookout. Since Royce hasn't joined us, good job working, Ghost, and
Did you know Ghost was a 10-eye? Because
I'm about to ask.
Is it becoming more and more apparent, Joel?
Yeah. So, speaking of Ghost, how did you know they were coming?
Can you not hear them?
Oh, the train is really loud.
Interesting.
Oh.
Yeah, I can hear lots of stuff.
That makes sense. Fair enough. I look at Royce and I'll be like, I think we might have a little tin eye on the way here.
Yes, and how do I say this? I like to be sensitive that you may not be comfortable discussing, everything in your past. However, if there is something that you might be wanted for, that we should be concerned about, I would hope that they wouldn't come back, but there's going to be one on every car, so you can't exactly leave, but we may want to take some...
Me?
Precautions. Not you, Ghost. You're fine. You're excellent. Smart young boy.
No,
but since they are looking for a Kolos-blooded individual, even if they're not looking for you specifically, if you have a record, we may wish to prepare.
Yeah, it's always been a worry of mine. A lot of obviously there's our business that we had in Elendel, but I've generally managed to keep myself, as far as I'm aware, nothing that we've done in the past has been caught by the Connors, as far as I know, but you're going to be too careful. He was talking about raiders. That was a long time ago for me, but they don't need much, to start asking too many questions. And so, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna see if the window, does the window pop out? They developed fire safety standards in the schedule at this point.
why not?
I don't know about pop out, but it probably does open.
Okay, cool. At least I could try and find a way out, which doesn't involve me going past the guards. But I mean, even if I can't, it sounds like Luka. I think you'll be able to find us a way. You seem to be pretty good at distracting people.
Well, yes, I am very distracting.
Ghost kind of says, Can I go use the bathroom? Or not pee out the window, but pee off the side of the car?
Luka, it looks like you'll be taking
Be a mini toilet in the compartment.
Sorry, my
Is
sister.
Is there one
just
inside the compartment, or is it like...
It depends on the train, and I mean,
I was kind of thinking that it's like a compartment, right, with
Yeah.
like a seat with like the bed cutouts, and then like down the hall there's like
One shared
like
bathroom.
one toilet.
And
That's
how the Caledonian sleepers are laid out. That's the train you can take up to Scotland.
That's kind of how I had it in my
Yeah.
head.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Yeah. So, Luka, it looks like you're on kid duty because I can't leave the room.
Yes.
I can go by myself.
Do we trust him?
Well, how about we both go? Although someone, I think we can trust him. But I think someone should wait with you.
Just in case. Yeah.
Just in case. Mr. Ghost, be very cautious, all right? We're trusting you. And, yes. Best behavior. You're a professional. I know you are. And, start making a commotion if, you need assistance, and one of us will come.
Oh!
Probably me.
Dervish!
Yeah.
You can wear my hat. It would hide your hair.
Thank you very much, but I think it might be. I try the hat on. Is it too big? Is it good enough? Is it?
We may need to at some point invest in cosmetics to. For
It
sure.
is.
Guys, the size,
It's a little
though.
small in the head, but like it is like quite large in the brim.
I'll just put it on by that. Do you know what? I think it works.
Looks quite good, he says. And you kind of get this like subtle hint that he is getting you to wear it, because if you wear it, then he can wear it later on without issue, and he doesn't have to question whether or not it's acceptable anymore. It's kosher now.
It's this.
So he lets himself out of the compartment and goes off to.
I'll take the hat off and I put it on Luka's head.
Luka's actually going to start changing. He's planning if the guards come back, and he's going to start changing into his fancy jammies.
Of course, he has fancy jammies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Complete with a dress. They're like monogrammed, and there's a dressing gown and
Beautiful.
Silk
Pocket on
pajamas.
Yeah.
Like the pocket on his breast.
Ghost takes a little while to come back. And just around the time that you both are like, should we be going and checking on him? Should we be going and seeing if he's okay? If he fell in or something? He, opens the door and slips back in. He, in one hand, has a letter. And he hands that to Luka. Says, "This is for you."
from.
I don't know. And just to put on it in scrawl is Luka Ilario.
Who? Where did you get this?
It was like a mail cart.
Oh. And you just got mail for me.
Well, it has your name on it.
Ghost, what else did you take from the mail cart?
Who's that?
Okay.
Did someone see you take it?
No.
I'm glad you're on our side, my boy.
And then he turns to Dervish and he says, "So, they're looking for 3 Koloth-blooded. 2 are male, 1 is female. The female has a really big sword.
Okay.
And there's rumors, amongst the Connors, they aren't telling anyone this, but that they went on a couple of raids, like, really close to Elendel, which is why they're looking for them. But mostly it wasn't like pillaging, it was mostly killing.
No.
And the more killing she did, the stronger she seemed to get.
That is concerning. Cold-blooded this far into the basin. I mean, there's not many of us, and we try and keep our heads down. You know, it's not good out there. But
they have a couple of basic sketches. I wasn't able to take them because they don't have many, and I wasn't really able to get a good look at them. But they do have them.
What did any of the sketches look like, Mr. Chef?
Well, he has hair.
The sketches did not have hair?
No.
Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. I mean, it kind of makes sense, though. Oh, you, Luka, you weren't there. Okay. This is probably my sister, the one that we're going to meet. This is her kind of thing. She wouldn't have just come to Elendel to find me and left peacefully. She's got her habits, you know. Well, thank you, Ghost. I'm glad you were able to find that.
But to be fair, hopefully this means that, you know, they're looking for someone with hair. If you can prove you have hair, you know, hair doesn't grow overnight.
Yeah, it's very true. I probably shouldn't hide the hair under a hat then, unfortunately.
Oh.
I'm gonna
Right.
give him his hat back.
And he kind of like pushes it back so it's on his back again.
Okay. Yeah. Yep, sounds like her anyway. And then I'm just gonna start taking my shirt and trousers off because I'm just gonna sleep in my underwear. Just.
So should we be keeping a watch, maybe, just so someone's sleeping shifts, so someone is ready, in case?
It's not a bad idea.
I can stay up late.
We'll probably have you. We'll have you doing third shift. How about that, Ghost?
Okay.
You get some shut-eye first.
No, that's the hardest one. You have to be the most vigilant because I don't know if you know this about me, Ghost, but I'm not a morning person. I have so much trouble, you know, getting up before my time. So
that makes sense.
You'd really be doing a service.
Yeah. Yeah. So come on, let's get you to bed, little one.
All right. You know, and he gets into bed with his clothes on.
It's fine.
If I'm saying this, but I'm actually really glad the kid scammed his way into coming.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like super handy to have.
It's useful. And Luka's gonna, with Dervish, kind of, once Dervish is like getting into bed, Luka's gonna like throw some like loose clothing over him, kind of like that's Luka's like closet bed.
I'm gonna get the sword bag with the tent.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put that like next to me, like so it's covering it up from the door, and be like, "You gotta be okay. Staying up, Luka."
Yes, I can take first watch.
Yeah.
No problem.
Okay.
You know, when I'm not with the crew, I can be a bit of a night owl in the city. You know what I mean?
No, that doesn't surprise me at all. I'm not surprised you don't know. You're not gonna know what time it is, you know. And
All right.
Yeah.
So, Dervish and Ghost tugging for bed. Let's take a quick 5-minute break, and then we'll hop back to it.
Cool.
So the evening passes for the most part without anything interesting happen. The Connors are quiet. You know, they don't come around from their check.
Get a visit?
It does, but it's pretty quick. You know, they're in and out. It's, you know, and you guys don't really have anything to worry about. And by this time, they've learned not to, you know, be all, you know, they've dealt with Luka at this point, and they're just like, okay, we'll keep our mouths shut. Can we see your tickets, please? And can we do a quick look around the cabin? Like, that's kind of their, what they're offering at this point in time.
Is Eddie's guard a Kolos?
What?
Is Eddie's guard a Kolos blooded person?
No.
By chance? No.
Eddie does not have a guard anymore.
Oh.
Yes. Eddie's guard was a Kolos blooded, but that was Dervish's sister at the time, right?
Right. Yeah.
I wanted to say as well.
She has been parted ways.
Yeah. I wanted to say as well, before I actually went to bed, I actually sat down and I told Ghost a little bedtime story about Big the Kolos, the first Ash Eater. And it's a little kid story about a Kolos who doesn't want to eat rocks or mud, so he eats some ash and he finds he loves it.
Ash Eater. Interesting.
Been waiting to use that one, haven't you?
I have so much Kolos culture that I've not been able to use.
Beautiful. Hey, and Luka, I am going to ask, do you open the letter? Or do you just, like...
Yeah, Luka, once he's kind of started his watch, he'll kind of, like, settle back and open the letter to read it.
Okay, so inside is a letter, as well as a wedding invitation.
Okay.
And this is a wedding invitation from your sister.
Oh. Are we... Is this in a similar direction to where they would live?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
It's all very, you know, lucky happenstance. Anyway, so there's, you know, the invitation in there, you know, Darren Nickel and Mara Nickel are happy to announce the marriage of their daughter Esty Nickel to Cedric. Do you have a last name for Cedric?
I'm not sure if I gave Cedric a last name.
I don't have one on here, so.
Let's
want me to make one
do Cedric. Cedric Wooten.
Wooten.
Yeah. That sounds kind of small townsy.
Engaged to, or yes, happy to announce the marriage of Esty Nickel to Cedric Wooten. You are invited to attend their wedding, you know, in however many weeks hence, at such and such a location, right, which is your old family hometown. And, you know, it's a very big to-do, obviously, because Cedric is the son of the local mayor, right? So this invitation is a little bit more fancy, right, than the normal, you know, the normal folk would do. But, you know, you can see your parents having been like, you know, do we really want to go this fancy? Like, we kind of left that behind. But Esty, of course, was like, oh my goodness, it's my wedding. Like, you know, obviously want to, like, do it up big. And it's the one thing that she'll probably get to do up big in her life. And, you know, of course, Cedric would be behind that. So the invitation matches that kind of feel that you know from your sister. And then inside is also a letter, which kind of tells you all of this, right? It's from Esty, and, you know, she tells you how much the family is missing you, and, you know, kind of the goings on, you know, and she says, you know, I've been missing you greatly, and I have so much to tell you. And she's like, I do have some things. And kind of like towards the end of the letter, right, like there's just like one or two sentences that makes you kind of like get a little nervous. Like, because most of it's just good and happy and, you know, Esty, like, you know, just her cute, bubbly, you know, self. You know, what she is around you when it's not, you know, her just being a little bit more poised around everyone else. But there's this couple of sentences that says, I was burning gold the other day and I have something to tell you.
Oh. And how long till the wedding? About?
A couple weeks.
Couple weeks. Okay. Is there like return? Mail? How does the mail work on the train?
Well, you, I mean, you would know your family's address. One, you would know, like, you know, how to get it to the city or the town, and then that distributes out. And it's not like there's something specifically on the train, but you could easily, you know, like slip it into the mail cart, or, you know, just
and
post
at the
it
next
at the next
stop.
town.
It would be, yeah. Okay. Luka gets like a little bit teary-eyed, I think, reading this letter. I think he's just with everything with his grandma and Rafe, I think he's feeling a little homesick. And then he's gonna write a response to his sister. He's gonna start writing something that's very like cheerful and like, I'm so excited, this is so much good things, life is great for me, it's never been better. And then he's gonna like crumple that up because like his sister's like the person he can like really talk to, so that just feels kind of fake. And then he starts writing out the truth, like, I'm feeling very overwhelmed right now. My you know, Grandma's been very nice to me, but I think I disappointed her, and now I'm really worried, and all my friends don't like me anymore, and Rafe, and like, you know, and then he's like, oh, this is too much for a like, he's flipping over to the second page, and he's like, no, this is too much, like, I'll talk to her in person. And then he goes, thanks so much for the invitation and the letter. It was really lovely to hear from you and needed, to be honest. It feels good. I'm very sorry that I haven't written sooner. We should catch up soon. I'm actually in the area for a little while, and he'll kind of lay out their route and say maybe, you know, we could meet up at some point.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
So to recap, Dervish, the spirits roll that gave you was, you know, obviously one, so that you knew to get out of Dodge, but two, mostly that you now know your sister and two others that she's traveling with are, wrecking havoc in their wake as they make their way back.
Yeah.
And then Luka, the letter, and then having the little ping about, I've been burning gold and have something to tell you, is yours. And that letter would have come later had, Ghost not have snatched it.
Yeah.
Intervened on your behalf.
Yeah. So please.
I'm so curious about the gold thing. That's so interesting.
Okay.
Can I say when it's time to switch watches, when Dervish is getting up, Luka's going to use that opportunity just to step out for a moment, and he will just knock on the girl's door and just kind of fill them in. We're
You're
okay.
waking us all up out of a dead sleep because we didn't think we needed to put out watches.
Yeah.
Because y'all never told us that anything went wrong. We're just like, oh,
Yeah.
honors, that's nice.
Yeah, and he's just like, oh, I'm so sorry. Everything's good. Yes.
Hallie throws a cushion at him.
Okay. Yeah. Talk later.
Perfect. Yeah, so the next day arrived morning, you have breakfast delivered to your cabins. It would seem that everything in the night has gone smoothly, no delays. And the next day, later in the afternoon, you arrive at one of the border towns nearest to the spa. And there is it does seem that there are a few of the lower class train cabins that are a bit more packed with people, and the train does make stops overnight, and Ghost kind of leans over and he says, that they're here for some sort of political something.
Yeah, they'll be there for the protest. We don't know about the protest. The girls know about the protest.
Oh, yeah, there's a protest or something going on around here.
But yeah,
Hallie looks more thoughtful than usual. She's almost in a state of brooding.
There are carriages that can be chartered to go up to the spa, right? It's kind of like the spa is higher in the mountains than the train goes, right? The train cutting through the mountains and actually getting it up there would just be a lot of effort, so it mostly comes to the foot, and then the carriage takes you up. And kind of at this main base camp, or this main base town, there are people who are kind of rallying together, in protest. They have wood signs, saying stop the pollution, stop the fog, stop the dirting of our land, more protections against harm, all those sorts of things. And, there's kind of murmurings as well about strike going on, and that, workers' unions and those sorts of things starting to form, based on how many deaths have been occurring. And it seems that when you get the carriages, and as you are going up to the spa, right? Because essentially the spa is at like the top of the peak, and then you can go down the other side, which is part of why it makes such like a good stopping point for you guys, right? Because you are heading out into the roughs. Is that as you're going up, you can see like there are people that are actually, rather than taking carriages, they're going up in like groups toward the spa to protest.
Okay. They're clearly protesters kind of thing.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're like have their signs over one shoulder and like the pack over their backs and.
Yeah.
Luka will kind of be looking to Marelyn to gauge what her opinion of the protesters seems to be.
Well, it seems like a worthy cause, but hopefully it doesn't cause any trouble for us while we're here.
Are we all in the same carriage, or have we split up, or?
I'm going to say you all are in the same like carriage.
Yeah.
With Eddie? Or you kick Eddie to a separate carriage?
No, actually, you're not with Eddie. We're not sure where he's gotten off to. You haven't seen him.
Oh, that's worrying.
I did tell him to get lost last night.
Yeah, you did.
I'm assuming Luka will be making arrangements, so he'll be saying, Marelyn, is your father, Mr. Drama, joining us?
When I spoke to him last night, he seemed interested in separating from us for this part of our trip.
Oh. Well, I hope he doesn't get up to too much trouble.
He always does. I was talking with Jelly last night, and we were thinking that because of her recent ordeal, it would be wonderful if you could pay for a full spa experience to help her, decompress from the stress she's been under recently.
Oh, absolutely, Jelly. Yes, of course. Spa treatments they can be very invigorating, and I can't imagine what you've been through, but I think it would be just the ticket. And yes, happy to help out however I can.
And she kind of just peeps out a little, thank you. I appreciate that. And she seems very nervous, like, around the crowds, right? Once you're in the carriage, she kind of relaxes again, but, like, the more people there are, the more she seems to, like, get tense up. Yes, so you arrive up at the spa, and it is this beautiful, wood-logged building. There are plenty of trees out here, to sustain that. And there is, of course, it's also stone, the stonework around, like, the base of it, and some big, large carvings and, that sort of thing. But you can also hear, kind of like the bubbling of water, and every so often there's kind of like this, like, the big, geyser sound is like off in the distance, a geyser goes off. Just kind of a very relaxing sort of place. And it's very, very different from Elendel or the Roughs, right? And even like from farmland, it's very, like green and treed and, wildlife throughout the branches. And it has like this distinct kind of almost eggy smell in the air. Yeah. And you also have heard that there's like some salt mines around, and they mine some like pink salt from the earth. Anyway, it's a gorgeous little spot.
I'm gonna Dervish takes it in, and he's just kind of like, "This is nice."
So Marelyn has the information that this is run by her former boss, I believe.
Yes.
So before we go in, I'm gonna be like, I don't mean to complicate things, but I actually know the owner, so perhaps it would be better if while we're in, my name is Letta while we're inside.
Cool.
Letta?
Sure. Letta.
Got it, Letta.
Okay. Perfect. So you get inside, and there are there's like a reception desk, and there is a terrace woman at the front desk, and she's very soft spoken, and she welcomes you in, and she says, how many are in your party, and what services will you be needing while you are here?
Well, there is 6 of us. Another might be joining, but might not be. But 6 for now. And I think, does everyone want the full package, or are some people? And he's kind of looking at Dervish and Hallie, like.
I've been
just has this blank look on her face, like, I have no clue, man.
Yeah, I'm like, Dervish is like, I have been meaning to ask, what is a full spa experience? I can't say I've been to one of these before.
They're first timers. This is very exciting.
Yeah. Well, we have massages and, salt scrubs and mud baths, and there's, of course, the hot springs, and we have a lovely soothing parlor and riding parlor, and
Marelyn grimaces slightly at that.
Plenty of other activities for you to enjoy.
Do you have any hair mask treatments? He certainly would enjoy that. Wouldn't you, Dervish?
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah, sure. That sounds good. Mud bath sounds interesting. Let's do one of those.
Certainly. So she, takes down this information, and she says, what name can I put the bill under?
It can go under Luka Ilariel.
And she writes this down, and she says, I didn't know we had the pleasure of your presence, sir. Welcome to our facilities. We hope that you enjoy your stay.
Yes, but if I may, things are a little tense in the social scene back home. I'm not sure if you heard, but there was this, whole auction and some incompetent security, and it was a whole ordeal. And so I'm just hoping to relax. So if there could be some discretion around that.
Absolutely. Your privacy is our first priority.
Excellent to hear. I've heard such good things about this place, but it just kind of came out of nowhere. So I'm very excited to see the facility, and I would hate for it to be, marred by any unpleasantness beyond your control. I'm very excited to tell all my friends back home how great it was. So.
Wonderful. We do hope that you enjoy your stay. And she pushes a few keys over. There is one for each of the adults. It's expected that Ghost will stay with one of you. And she kind of has to do this double take of Hallie to make sure that she's gauging the age right, and then pushes her key.
She would have gotten salty words had she assumed Hallie was a child.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hallie might
be
small, but she does look like an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely like a double take, just
just
based on the height factor.
But then the salty look is like, that's too much salt for someone under 20.
Yeah. I mean, Hallie is in her early 30s, so she definitely looks like a grown-up.
Okay, so
Tough being small.
I'm going to have. Check. Probably gonna have you all do a spirits roll again for me.
So this will be fun. I bet this is gonna go much worse than the last time.
Don't jinx it.
Yeah.
We've turned over a new leaf.
We roll good spirits checks now.
Yeah.
It's not.
Spoken by someone who doesn't have only 2 dice.
I also only have 2 spirits.
Oh, well, okay.
I have 4, and I think I'm the highest of the group.
I also have 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So spirits. And this is a spirits of 1.
Cool.
Oh, well.
Making it easy.
Is there anything?
Any staff help?
Yeah. What kind of thing are we rolling for? Is there anything we could hand on to it?
I don't think so. No.
Cool. Okay.
Just random luck.
I'm gonna go.
Yep.
That's a 2.
Woohoo!
Very good.
I'll go.
Ooh.
Nada. A whole lot of nothing.
Okay.
Give it a try. Oh, go ahead, Hallie.
Alright, I'll take my shot. Nope.
Oh.
Okay.
No.
Oh no, I'm gonna run into Lutheran now, aren't I? He's gonna be having a mud bath.
So who's taking Ghost with them?
I'm going to pull Ghost aside and kind of like take him with me, and also kind of like as we're going, kind of lean down in his ear and be like, okay, I know you're probably going to want to sneak off. I know I can't stop you. Just be careful and don't get caught while we're here. The man who runs this place is very dangerous.
All right.
And in the meantime, Hallie is going to try and find some point to get Ghost alone too. And when she does, she's like, so when you do inevitably sneak off, I want you to bring me back any information that you can find about Lofren Portel.
Okay. All right.
I'm also
And, like, she even like butters him up by calling him Ghost and everything, and she gives him a muffin
and then
and
also
a piece of taffy.
gonna grab Ghost and I'll be like, so when you inevitably sneak off, try
Terrible.
try not to steal anything too conspicuous, okay? And then I'm gonna like push him towards Luka.
Hilarious.
And then he just looks up at Luka.
Hey, Ghost, are you excited for your first spa experience?
Luke is a simple man.
Yes, I am.
Excellent.
Experience. That's what we're calling this. Okay.
Mm-hmm. You're in for a brand new world. Don't get addicted.
Okay.
They're all terrible, sneaky people. It's great.
Like, mine was like, I know I can't stop you, just try to please be safe when you inevitably do this thing. I wasn't necessarily encouraging him.
And stay away from the boss. The boss. And then Hallie's like, get me information on this person. And Dervish is like, don't steal anything too valuable. And so, Ghost is over here sitting, okay, so are they telling me to do these things or not telling me to do these things? I have to now decipher whether or not this is a code.
Meanwhile, I mean, Marelyn hasn't really told anyone else that the person is dangerous, just that she wants to be known under a different name, which, as far as Hallie is concerned, means, she probably scammed this person at some point.
Yeah.
Not that there is anything to actually worry about.
Yeah.
I am definitely banned from this spa.
So, you all have your little spa menus that are, scribed out in very beautiful lettering that, you can carry around there. It's actually done on, wood so that they can reuse it, especially in this, climate with, the moisture and the, muck, hopefully they can just wipe it off and call it a day. So, as you all are going about, just a couple of tidbits. Marelyn, you are, by luck and happenstance, it seems, able to steer clear of Alaran Petrel. You don't know whether or not he's here, but, at the very least, you don't see him anywhere. So that's good. Hallie, it would seem that you cannot see Lofran Patel anywhere. But perhaps that's a good thing. Perhaps you want to lay low. You're not sure whether or not he knows of you. Probably not.
A lot of Hallie's attention at this point is learning the layout of the spa and kind of watching, and she's noting where the workers kind of duck through and what potential back ways she could sneak through if she needed to.
Okay. So you can either roll me a wits or resources.
We're gonna go with wits.
Okay, this is gonna be a wits of 2.
Okay. There we go.
Got it. Nailed it.
A nudge.
Very good. So yeah, you easily figure out the layout of the spa. Actually, posted on each floor, there's a map inscribed in stone for the guests to follow, and it corresponds with a legend next to it, as well as the various treatments on your little board that you carry around with you. Additionally, you take note of several of the seemingly more respected patrons and their, bodyguards or such. One person in particular catches your eye. You don't know his name, but he is quite noticeable by the fact that when you see him, you either see him in a wheelchair or heavily relying on a cane. But he's a rather young man. It's not like, so either he was born, being a, having this difficulty walking, or something happened to him, in which, this happened. And he is now an ambulatory wheelchair user. You also notice that, yeah, that's what you know. So there's, you kind of take note. But he seems to be under guard. So either he's wealthy or, you're expecting he's wealthy. Well connected. Luka, you just have a wonderful time. This is, wildest dreams. Everything is incredibly relaxing. And, you are, what's your favorite treatment?
So are the hot springs, are they like outdoor or indoor, or what's the...
So there are both. So there
Okay.
are some outdoor ones which are more public, and they like overlook, like the mountain scenery, right? Like, they were just more like larger, pools that have been, kind of taken care of, and the landscaping has been manicured right, so you can look out over the trees and watch the wildlife. And then there are more private rooms inside, which are closed in, and they are meant to like trap the steam, and it's a bit hotter in there.
Luka will do like kind of the full gamut, but I think he'll spend most of his time in the outdoor hot springs. I think he'll find that kind of refreshing. Of course, he has like one of those custom like Victorian era men's swimsuits that's like the like the one piece top bottoms, and it's got the stripes, but it's the teal and kind of burgundy crimson. That's the Ilarial colors. And, and then a little LE monogram, of course. And I think he's also going to have like a big, a decent sized straw hat to keep, his skin nice while he's soaking outside. And it's just kind of enjoy that.
Perfect. Yeah, and Ghost has seemed to like flip between you all. He kind of checks in and then goes off on his own, and checks in again and goes off on his own. And at one point in time, after he's seen Luka with the hat, he comes out and he is now wearing his straw hat. And he's proudly wearing it now. Now that he has decided it is acceptable, especially if Luka's wearing it. He knows fashion. And lastly, Dervish, you have your mud bath, which is essentially like what it sounds like. You go and you sit in a warm puddle of mud, like little sticks and twigs and all. And it's like explained to you that this is very good for your skin. And the person is like, yes, it's great for your complexion. Afterward, we'll give you a salt scrub with some of the salt that's mined locally. It is very well sourced, very ethically sourced. You have nothing to worry about. And so yes, so after your mud bath, they come and scrub you down while they rinse you off with cool water, and then scrub you down with the salt scrub, and then you go out to the they send you out to the public hot spring pool.
Okay. I'll say, whilst I'm in the mud bath, I'm initially skeptical. I'm like, I didn't know what to expect, but I wasn't expecting a literal mud bath. And like, they had me the cucumbers, and like, I just hold on to them the whole time because I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to do with them. And so I
would expect you would eat them.
You'd think so, but no, I just hold on to them. And like, it's the most relaxed. Like, I feel the tension in my shoulders and neck kind of coming down. Some of my scars get a bit tingly, and I'm like, oh, this is actually nice. Like, and I kind of lean into it and just enjoy it.
I do suspect Hallie, at least to keep up appearances, does wind up going into the hot springs and picks the hottest one and asks for a hot drink. And they probably look at her really funny on that one. But
yeah, you probably go into one of like the private hot springs. Mm-hmm. Because like they bake you in there, right? It's like a sauna as well as like a indoor hot springs, and they do bring you a hot beverage.
Even if they do think I'm crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like they bring you tea. And they're like, There you go. It's a rather lovely blend. Yeah.
In the meantime, she doesn't
Dervish.
look like she's at all sweating or anything. She looks perfectly comfortable.
Like, it is recommended that after about 15 minutes you get out and cool down before,
I'm good.
Right.
She'll finally take pity on them and hold up her one of her metal mines.
Oh, all right. I see. And then they leave you to it. Dervish, while you are out in the more public pools, once you're kind of relaxed and decompressed, you see, kind of sitting nearby, and they have given you no nod or anything, just kind of ignoring you, don't know you, is Mr. Drama and Alarin Petrel. And they are sitting next to each other talking.
Because I would know Mr. Alarin Petrel as the head of security during the auction. Interesting. Okay.
Why did you have to be the one to cast your spirits roll?
I think I would. I'm not going to approach them. I feel like that would be a bad idea. Actually, no. I do approach them. Yes. I just kind of walk by very confidently in the vintage swimsuit that I'm in. That's 2 sizes too small, so I'm just kind of waddling a little bit. And I just kind of slap Eddie on the back, and I just go, Eddie, and then I just carry on walking, and I just kind of sit in a pool nearby, and just back to them, but still close enough to hear, if they were speaking loudly.
And you say Eddie.
Yes.
He's probably also not using his real name.
Yep.
Since he's going by, Mr. Drama during this trip. Mr. Petrel kind of gives you a passing glance and looks back to Marelyn's father, and kind of this look of calculation.
Do you feel like Marelyn's father is going to be trying to salvage his cover here?
Yeah, I'll ask this. Dervish, what were you hoping to get out of that?
I was hoping to kind of throw him off his game, whatever. So I was trying to come up as how am I trying to think of this? So I don't want him to put the guy that's just walked by and the caterer, the collar-spotted caterer that he knew before, in the same thing. So whilst the collar-spotted caterer was probably a bit quiet because I was, not trying to draw too much attention to myself, there I'm trying to be open and confident with my bearing, and then I was trying to just throw Eddie off whatever game he was playing, and just kind of mess with him a little bit.
Okay. Let's see. I want you to roll me something. I'm gonna have you roll me a social.
A social? Ooh. Do you mean influence?
Oh yes, influence. Sorry.
Oh no, I have 2 die. That's 2 for that. The difficulty?
We'll go with 1.
Okay. That's a big fat 0.
Okay. Well, I am going to roll for Eddie to salvage his
Safe
technically
face.
this should have been contest, but yeah. We will. Who's here? Gonna roll. What happened?
0 and 1 nudge. Now,
Hey!
Okay, so we're saying this is a contest, yeah?
Yeah, technically.
And so if I wanted to nudge myself higher by 1, and
You can do that, yes.
I'm going to do that and use my 3
I
nudges.
don't know
Alright.
who I want to win is the problem.
Yeah, I'm saying it being like, I don't know if it's good that I win, actually, to be honest. But let's see.
Alright. So you see, as you walk off, Alaran seems completely distracted by Eddie in front of him. And the cogs start to turn in Alaran's mind. And then Alaran just calls, "Security!" And, like, immediately, there's, like, this flock of guards. And Alaran is ordering Edgard into custody.
Damn! I wasn't expecting that. Excelente. Oh, man. That was... Interesting.
And Eddie gets hauled off, and Alaran kind of looks around.
He wasn't
stands
officially
up,
traveling with us.
Mm-hmm.
and walks out.
As myself and Dervish, I'm like, that may have been a mistake, actually. We'll have to wait and see.
And I actually think that's a great place to end.
It feels like it, doesn't it?
Oh
Well,
boy,
I'm
and
glad to
the
keep going.
problem
I
is
have
that-
a kind of hard stop time.
Yes.
yeah, the scheming that's going on in Hallie's head right now, because oh boy, she hasn't told anyone what she's gonna do,
Oh no.
and yeah,
I'm just like,
there
look,
are precisely two characters in this group who have the ability to talk her down, and one of them isn't even here, and the other, it's basically Royce and Dervish have the ability to rein her in, but they first have to figure out what she's doing.
Yes. Right now, we're having a lovely day at the spa.
Yes.
so good.
Hmm.
So good. And Marelyn's world is slowly colliding.
Yeah.
Yeah, is Marelyn gonna want to save her dad? This is gonna be...
Yeah, I'm like, don't know if that was a mistake in terms of the action and the consequences, and also, have I just really pissed off Marelyn?
And Grace is just like really quiet.
I will see what happens.
You did tell your dad to keep his distance.
Yep.
Oh, and if he knows what I've been up to, he knows who Al is.
Ooh, have I just got you in trouble, potentially?
Or you might have just saved her from trouble.
Very true, very true.
You don't know.
I mean, it depends on what Eddie was up to.
Hmm.
If he was up to anything beyond just, like, continuing his scam as Mr. Drama.
Hmm. Oh boy!
Target of Mr. Drama.
Ooh. Good question.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I don't like this. Alright.
That was great. I want to thank everyone for watching. I hope you've enjoyed our 6th episode of Diceborn. Don't forget about this week's giveaway. Winner will be picked 1 week after this episode airs and will be announced in the next episode. Don't forget that you can buy all of the Mistborn Adventure Game things that you'd want and need at mistborngames.com. If you use the offer code 17MBDICE when you spend $20 or more, you will get a free set of Mistborn dice with that. Thank you to Natasha for running this game for us. And then you can find the rest of us at 17shard.com for all your news, theories, discussion, and fun. You can find us on Discord, on Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, YouTube. This series is now on Spotify. If you type in Diceborn on Spotify, you can listen to it on Spotify. Woo! You can support us on Patreon, where you can watch the Session Zero. You can send in a bit of how we planned this series. You can find out a bit just other stuff we have on there. We have art polls regularly, and stay tuned for more and keep those dice rolling. Bye.
Bye.